Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and this is it. This is the movie that you guys have been waiting for me to rant on for People of Color Month. This is the last of the Disney Star Wars films that I have to get through, and I got through it. Despite Josh thinking that I'm afraid to do it, no, I'm not afraid. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna let out the rage so that you never have to see this again when Captain Kennedy retires. This is a 2019 American, fuck you, epic space opera, filmed, produced, co-written, yeah, even though there's like three writers, and directed by J.J. Abrams, produced by Lucasfilm, Abrams production company, Bad Robot, you should get your money back, and distributed by the Walt Disney Motion Pictures. Of course it is, because all these freaking movies have to be thing. And that is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, more like the death of the franchise, if you ask me. This was freaking horrendous, guys. I can't tell you how pissed off I am. They took one of the greatest trilogies of all time and made this as its finale? No, go to hell. Chris Terrio and JJ wrote this movie. They wrote this freaking movie. The guys that did the theatrical cut of Justice League and Batman v Superman wrote a freaking Star Wars sequel. Where it's a fetch quest movie that goes nowhere, that's over 2 hours long. And guess what? It makes this movie pointless. You know what I think of this now? This is what I think about it. Yeah, I'm destroying this. I don't want to own this movie anymore. You piss me off. I hate you. You freaking ruined the franchise. First, Rick Johnson does everything, and then you have to make this freaking movie pointless. You freaking piece of crap. Well, I can't destroy it because it's a Blu-ray, but I destroyed the box. This is what I think of your franchise, Disney. This is what I think. This is what I think. The Hobo was the worst actress I've ever seen. Josh, I told you I will never like her. Ever. She ruined these movies for me. Every single one of them. Force Awakens, she raped me in the theater. Last Jedi, I was bored out of my mind. And this one, it's the Hobo the movie. That's what this freaking movie is. All it is the Hobo for 2 hours and 12 minutes doing everything. Why? Because she's freaking Supergirl. You are not a good actress. Retire, please. Piece of shit. I know that's The Last Jedi, but you make that movie pointless, and I didn't like that movie to begin with. You made a freaking movie that was 2.5 hours completely pointless, because in the next movie, in this movie, it completely eradicates that movie. These movies are not connected. They're completely separated stories that are not a coherent one. You know why Avengers worked? Because Infinity War didn't make the first two movies completely pointless, and neither did Endgame. It was 11 years of freaking build-up. Thanos took the stone, snapped his fingers, and he was done. There is no reversing the thing here. All they did was they took The Last Jedi, made it a little bit shorter, and did a fetch quest movie where you got to go here to go here, then you got to go here to go here, then you got to go here to go here, then you got to go here to go here. I'm tired. Why can't the plot just take a break? The opening was kind of cool. It was like you have Kylo killing all these people on a planet, but then they have to say the Emperor's back. Bullshit. Anakin Skywalker killed him in Return of the Jedi. And also, Rose. She was in Last Jedi. She's in 2 scenes in this movie. Oh, Luke throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder? No, he shows up as a Force ghost later and says, "This is the weapon of a Jedi. It deserves respect." I'm like, yeah, how much of Rian Johnson did you try to give the finger to? How much of his work that he already butchered, you're going to butcher some more? None of these movies are good, okay? None of them. The originals are classics and they're going to live forever. The prequels are flawed but still entertaining. Even the freaking shows are better than this. Mando is king of the entire franchise on Disney Plus compared to this shit. You take a franchise that you should have just done 100 years in the future. Don't mention the Skywalkers, don't mention the Solos, don't mention the freaking Jedi or the Sith or anything, and just do your own freaking story. Why is that so hard, Disney? Oh, they just wanted to make $1 billion. Yeah, and you failed. You made your last billion and you barely... It's one of the lowest grossing freaking billions that Disney has made in the past 5 years. This is why all your movies flopped last year, Disney, and 2022 and 2021, because you don't learn your lesson. You make the same fuck-ups and you constantly pander to the LGB and freaking gay and freaking people of diversity that you force in there. Because let's face it, Finn, it should have been his story. It's a stormtrooper that turned good, that wanted to lead a resistance against this new empire. That could have worked. He could have been the Jedi. You didn't need to give it all to Hobos R Us. Nobody gives a damn about Daisy Ridley. We saw her, what she could do, and she can't act, okay? Marcia's daughter, I will never watch that. Chaos Walking, I will never watch that. I don't want to be raped again, guys. Every time I see her on the screen, I'm like, you don't deserve this spot. Caitlin Dever deserves way more success than you do. Why? Because she can act. And all she gets is a couple of stream shows and a stream movie. And you get a big budget, $400 million piece of shit like this. Yeah, this movie is just, it pisses me off how much this damage this movie did. It premiered in Los Angeles, yeah, in December 16, 2019. Thank God I was sick with a flu that day. I didn't go to the theater to see it. I was sick, and so was my mother, and we skipped it. It received mixed reviews. This should have gotten panned by critics. You think Madam Web is bad? Madam Web is not 2 hours and 20 minutes, guys, with end credits. That movie, yeah, it sucks, but it's what, like an hour and 45 minutes without the end credits? It's bad, but we knew that was going to happen. This could have been salvaged if it was written better. And the hobo wasn't Supergirl, doing everything, not taking any damage. She can force heal with no explanation. She can jump over a freaking TIE fighter like she's parkouring and shit. Why? Why? Because Kathleen Kennedy gives plot armor to her. That's why. God damn it, I hated this freaking movie. Yeah, it made $1.77 billion worldwide, making it the seventh highest grossing movie of 2019. It didn't deserve it. It was the lowest grossing installment of the trilogy. Yeah, it deserved it. It should have made $500 million. Just to prove that I don't care if you throw everything but the kitchen sink, which they did. The memory berries are there. The constant reminders of the past are there. The freaking, a lot of the notes and the music is from the original trilogy. I don't want to be reminded of the original trilogy when I can see the original trilogy. I have them on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and digital. I don't need your freaking bullshit version. How could this movie even be this unfinished piece of shit gets released 7 months after Endgame, or 8 months, and it's not even as good? Endgame is a freaking triumphant. It's a triumph of cinema. It's a freaking masterpiece. Yeah, it's slow in the beginning, but it's not this boring. The action kicks in when that final battle in freaking Titan against Thanos, Iron Man, Cap, and freaking Thor. It leads to something epic. This is boring. This is just noise. The movie, everything that's happening, you don't care what's going on. It's ugly. It's boring. It's nonsensical. It reminded me of the third Pirates movie. Remember what a cluttered mess that was? This is just as bad. Yeah, because that movie was just a third movie they made during the writer's strike, because it was like 2007 and the writer's strike was a few months later. So, and and Disney wanted to rush it out after the second one. You see what happens when you do a rush job, Disney? You freaking ruin it. And how dare they? They thought this was going to be Endgame. It wouldn't have beaten Endgame if Endgame made only $2 billion by itself. The website's critical consensus reads, The Rise of Skywalker suffers from a frustrating lack of imagination, but concludes this beloved saga with fan-focused devotion. No, this is not fan-focused devotion. Mando is fan-focused devotion. Freaking the Clone Wars cartoon, when they came back, that's fan-focused devotion. Even the Bad Batch. I had some problems with season 2, but it gave us what we wanted. Even the Obi-Wan Kenobi show was better than this. It wasn't as painful. Jana, the new black girl that they added, she was added because they didn't have enough black people in the background. So they're like, let's put a female version of Finn, and make her not interesting, having a gap in her tooth. It's ugly. You're not Tiana Paris. She's a goddess among women compared to you. And all these freaking bintos in this movie. I'm like, and Josh wonders why I'm worried about Dune Part 2. I know it's going to be a masterpiece compared to this. But Florence Pugh, I don't want to look at her for 2 hours. I told you I am done with bintos. I will never date one. I will never marry one. I want them out of my face. Now. I'm tired of it. That's why I didn't do a video on the Fantastic Four rebooted cast, because I don't care about two of them. So it's going to be a problem for me. 2 Brits are going to play Johnny Storm and freaking Sue Storm. Yeah, take this and shove it up your ass, Marvel, for that. You do not cast Brits anymore. I'm tired of it. They ruin every franchise that they're in. After Tom Holland, I stopped caring. Robert Pattinson was lucky he was a good Batman, or I wouldn't have cared. Because he put effort. He was physical. He wasn't some CGI cartoon like a lot of the shit I've seen this year. This is not a disappointment. This is a disaster. 3 out of 4 stars. Sorry, Richard Roper, I disagree with it. Rarely comes close to touching greatness, but it's a solid, visually dazzling, and warm-hearted victory. It's not a warm-hearted victory. J.J. Abrams made a 2.5 hour, a 2 hour and 12-minute freaking highlight reel. And there's no emotional stakes. Like when they hug at the end, I feel nothing. The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is what this movie should have been. It's shorter. Well, it's longer, but it's got a more depth. It made me cry. It's got good comedy. The characters are still sound. And while it has a shitty villain, at least it made up for it with some good action that's got color and you can see it. Yeah, San Francisco Chronicle described the film as a disappointment and wrote, "For all the movie's faults, it's likely that most people would consider it a rise, except the trade. Sit through a so-so 110-minute to get to a strong half hour. No, I'm sorry. This movie is boring. Just like The Last Jedi, it has a lot of pacing problems, and things are just happening." They said RogerEberts.com, because he died before The Force Awakens came out. "Terrible dialogue, disinterested performances, and an unconvincing phony CGI aesthetic." Yeah, that's another thing. There's too much computers in this movie. Everything looks like a CGI cartoon. Some of the creatures, the spaceships, the freaking backgrounds, even the faces of people are CGI. When Carrie Fisher showed up, I was like, I miss you, but it's not really there. It's stock footage. Yeah, and some roles were reduced in this movie. The Asian American actress Kelly Marie Tran had 10 minutes in the Last Jedi. She appeared for about a minute in this one. The reduced role was interpreted by some critics as concession to fans who disliked her character. Yeah, because they're idiots that don't want to get. They're incels that live in a basement that need to get out more. Tran had been, and I'm not saying tranny. I said Tran had been a target of racist, fatophobic, and misogynist online harassment. Hey, I wasn't one of those people. I said that she did the best she could. I never bashed her. I bashed the hobo because she's an eater of worlds, guys. And multiple cast members involved on the previous film defended her, such as Baenga said that she was sidelined into a minor character and commented on how she was written out without any explanation. No, because because Disney doesn't like Asians that much. When they did Raya, they didn't even release it in theaters the first time. They didn't. It was barely in theaters and it went straight to Disney Plus. And it was due to the difficulty of including deceased Carrie Fisher archive footage. No, it's because you guys are lazy. Even if Carrie had not died and she was in the film, it still wouldn't have saved you. Cinema Score gave it a B+, the lowest among the live-action films in the franchise. Yeah. I would never sit through this movie again. You couldn't make me. Disney could give me a check tax-free for $1 billion and I would never see this movie again. It's bullshit and it deserved to be thrashed. And all the things that happened in the movie... You know, the Emperor coming back. Why did you bring him back? We didn't ask for him to come back. You know, Poe just being there, just all he does is fly a ship and yell a little bit. That's it. Him and Finn have barely any scenes together at the end. The freaking that she's the granddaughter of the Emperor. That goes nowhere because she sees a vision that she's evil and they never go back to that. Why? Laziness. That's worse than the Save Martha scene. You know why? Because the Save Martha scene at least led to something at the end. This led to nothing. God, I hated this movie. I hated this, Josh. If you think that I'm just being childish, I'm like, hey, I had to get this out of my system. I am a Star Wars fan. Look at this hat. I'm not going to throw this away. My dad gave that to me last year to wear to Comic-Con. And I did when I left. I don't need these movies anymore. If this is the movies that they're pumping out, I don't want to see anymore. I was already getting tired of the TV shows when we got to like Ahsoka, because Ahsoka was underused in her own show. Because Kathleen Kennedy is a shitty producer. She produces garbage and she calls it entertainment. Yeah, please. You will be nothing without Frank Marshall or George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. You suck. And nobody wants you around anymore in the industry. You just fuck things over. And again, the hobo has no vulnerability. You know why I like Captain Marvel? Because the first 5 minutes of the movie, she's bleeding from her nose. That's more vulnerability in the first 5 minutes of that movie than anything here. I would sit through the Marvels again over this. I would. Even the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, I didn't hate them. They had problems, lens flares, lame duck villains, and some, and a little bit of pacing issues. But and also the second movie is a remake of Wrath of Khan. But at least Beyond wasn't like this. Beyond was a triumph compared to this. It was respectful. It didn't treat the audience like we're stupid. Well, here, give us your money and we'll give you slop. No, I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. Bad movies need to burn. And I've been saying this for years now, since 2015. I don't want to see the hobo in the MCU. If that happens, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I'm never going to go to the MCU again if she tries to eat that world. We don't need her. We don't need her. We don't need Vanessa Kirby. We don't need freaking Bayenga. We don't need freaking Oscar Isaac. We already had him in Moon Knight, and that went nowhere. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these actors from The Force Awakens. You put them in everything and they failed. 90% of them failed. Greg Grunberg, I like him as an actor. He's underused. Carrie Fisher's daughter, she's underused. Maz, they made a big deal about her in the first one, saying she's going to be the new Yoda, and she's just a sorry orange version of E.T. Freaking E.T., that's what she looks like. E.T. had more screen time in his own movie. I hate this movie. This is the worst Star Wars movie, live action movie. I thought it was the Clone Wars movie. That was just a three episode pilot that they put on the big screen. This is worse. That was short. That was like 95 minutes. This is 2 hours and 12 minutes I will never get back. And the gay kiss. Why was it there? Because it's Disney. They got to pander somehow. They did that in Lightyear and that failed. Stop it already. Stop pandering. You're supposed to be a family entertainment, and you make these things for people that don't watch your freaking content. And the logic in the movie doesn't make any sense. Oh, they fly now? Yeah, because stormtroopers have freaking flying jetpacks now, like the Mandalorians. Or that worm that she can heal with no explanation. She just touches it and she can force heal like she's been doing it for years. Yeah, again, why don't you show the training first instead of freaking cock teasing us? And there's nothing sexy in this movie. Zordy Bliss, another actress that's wasted in every J.J. Abrams movie she does. Kerry Russell, she's barely in the movie too. She's in the beginning and the 40-minute mark, talks to Poe and does fuck all until the last battle, and she still gets nothing to do. And at the end, she's like, Poe, no, I don't want to get back with you. It's over. It's a waste of freaking potential. All these actors. And the hobo's not an actress. She's a freaking virus of cinema. She raped me in the theater back in 2015, and I will never forgive her for that. And I don't want to see the young hobo movie. You already had 3 chances. You failed, Disney. You failed. The stuff they did with 3PO and with BB-8, they're in the background. Just like, I liked Boba Freak. He's cute, but he was in Mando. So again, suck it, Kathleen Kennedy. You put him in something good. And also, Donald Gleason, General Hux, he becomes a spy for the First Order, and then he just dies. That's his arc. Richard E. Grant just shoots him, and that's his arc. Wow, what a waste of a character. It's all a waste. All of this is a freaking waste. Ian McDermott, bless him, he's the best. He did the best he could, but the man is almost 80 years old, guys. Just let him retire and not do this anymore. I don't need to see him play the Emperor ever again. Billy D. Williams, I love the man. He was great in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And in the Lego movie, he had a cameo. He has nothing to do here either. He shoots a couple of people in Basana, then disappears until the third act. When Leia dies, he shows up and then he fights at the end. They're trying to do the on your left moment. It was done better in Endgame. Like I said, cinematic opus. This is garbage on the screen for over 2 hours. And you're not going to fool me again, Disney. You will never fool me again. Wish, I'm going to see that on Disney+. If it sucks, I'll do a rant on that too. I'm not expecting a thing. I'm not. Because you've done nothing for me. These past 4 years in the pandemic, you put some things on Disney Plus that I liked. A lot of garbage on there. A lot of shows that were mixed. And then bullshit like this. You're lucky I'm even going to go to your park again. And also, Jodie Comer, that was her as one of Rey's parents? Yeah, again, I don't care about this character. So, showing the parents in the third movie means nothing. Comer is a comer, coming right over your face. Yeah. You see why I don't like Bintos, Josh? There's a reason for it. It started with this freaking bitch. And it also started with Haley Atwell back in 2011 when I saw Captain America. Yeah. I hear their voices, they're shouting, they're overacting, I get a headache, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, please. Despoqui, shut up. Just shut your mouth, please. I'm tired of it. That's what I don't want to sit through in the Thunderbolts next year. Or Mission Impossible 8, whatever they're going to call it. Haley is a turkey. This thing is a freaking disease of cinema. She makes you sick and you die because as soon as you look at her face. I mean, she kisses Kylo at the end. Why? Oh, yeah, because he saved her life, and then she kisses him to death. Again, this is why I do it, Josh. There's a motivation for it. I can't just go, Arr! No, I can't do that. I got anger and I let it out. I don't bottle it up. But that's my 20-minute rant on this garbage fire of a movie. See, Angry Joe, I can do it shorter than you. I don't need 2 hours. I can rant in 20 minutes because I'm the best that there is. On YouTube, I know how good I am. And I don't need a $100 million budget to prove it, Disney. Man, I wish that this movie was never made. I wish it just stopped after Force Awakens. It would have been fine. You got your nostalgia, you made your billion, leave it alone. But yeah, Han's cameo, that was dumb. Luke being there, they're only there for nostalgia. They're not there for any artistic integrity or anything, or respect for the original characters. No, this shit all over the fans, and I'm glad that it's over. I never want to see this movie again. Fuck you, Rise of Skywalker. You're the worst thing that's ever. It's the death of the franchise is what it is. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm glad you got to witness this, because you need to know what true suffering is. Because that's what's happened to me this year with these freaking movies. In the spring, not going to deal with it anymore. If there's a Binto I don't want to see, I pass. Give me an Anna Taylor-Joy any day over the hobo. There's one thing that she has the hobos never had. A beautiful face. At least when I saw Anna Taylor-Joy at the Super Mario Brothers premiere, these pictures, she's a gorgeous girl. And she's younger than this freaking virus. And I know that's mean, but I don't care. Let her come to my doorstep and say, wow, that was really mean. I don't care. She goes to Comic-Con, she's not going to be safe. She's not. She better stay the hell away from me, or hellfire will get on her. I'm not going to threaten to beat her up because I'm like, guys, I don't do that. Okay? I'm not a violent person. But when I'm angry, I let it flow. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what John Avenger version 2 does now. You cross me, you will pay the consequences. So, I say goodbye to you. Bonus feature, I could see this on Disney Plus and never even talk about it. And this wasn't my dad's copy anyway. Fuck this movie. Fuck all of these movies. Solo, Rogue One, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. They can all kiss my ass. Thanks for watching. Take care. Acknowledge me. Because I want to be acknowledged here on YouTube. I've been on YouTube 11 years. That's longer than anything the hobo's done. And she was never going to hurt me again. Ever going to hurt me again. You hear me, Kathleen Kennedy? Ever going to hurt me again. So kiss my ass. This movie can kiss my ass. Also, my friend Michael, I want to give him a shout out on Twitter. Yeah, see this, share it, and burn this movie. Just burn it. You see a copy of it, don't pick it up. Just destroy it. That movie deserves to be burned in a freaking bonfire outside for the damage it did to the franchise. See you.